So my theory for Legion is clearly not right anymore with this latest episode. The demons, as Switch dubs them, clearly was the reason why the world was going to end. Although watching this episode kind of made me laugh to myself in the fact that I believe the producer, I mean, this is just me just talking about things, but it's almost like the producers or whatever of the show were like, why don't we do this? Oh, let's put that in, in this episode. So we have like the still motion scene of you have Girl Carrie, therapist guy whose name I can't remember, and Amal Farouk, and they're like, so they move how the demons move, and I kind of have to laugh too that it's like, there was a point, I think David says it, that it's like, stop smiling! Why are you smiling? But it is interesting in how the demons pulled all the people. So we have the three characters, and they're on their own because they have Amal Farouk, and he can kind of do what he wants with this time situation. But you have Sid, who sees younger Sid, and that's the only reason that she essentially is like, hey, we're like essentially like mutual right now, and oh wait, we're drinking, so that helps. And here, let me hug you, and now the demon has me. David, he gets kind of pulled in with a view of his mom, who essentially is like, yeah, this is like, you get a little bit of the background, so it's weird if they threw him in the past to meet her, but then it's like, okay, if this is real, essentially this is reality, how does she get out and then get to the mental hospital? Or all of this is in her head too, and she's just essentially crazy because David keeps running into her time stream, and she just essentially goes crazy because of it. That's a good theory. I'm going to go with that. So you have that, and then you have Lenny. Oh, poor Lenny. Oh my gosh. So she's like the best, even though it's like her whole character is like, it's so different than the other two seasons. But she wants to leave the cult, essentially. And she tells her lady, she's like, hey, let's get out of here. And her lady's like, okay, I'll follow you anywhere. And then, before that, they're kind of chilling, and Lenny's lady basically is like, we're having a girl. How do you know we're having a girl? How do you know it's a girl? And then like, oh, I don't want to give her like a fish name. No more fish names. Who, like, is it the scientist? The alchemist. Is it the alchemist that came up with the fish names? But I'm pretty sure there's only one fish name, and that's Salmon. And Salmon redirected Switch to get to the cult. So maybe I'm missing something. But that was really sad when Lenny essentially like got pulled into her own, I guess it got tricked and then pulled into like the time of her kid and like the kid's life, but like sort of not really. And then of course she's lying on the ground with the paper, which is weird because when you think like everything would just disappear with the memory, I don't know, maybe not. But then she comes down and she's essentially sick of David like controlling everything, because when he's like, oh, everybody feel good, and they all kind of pass out, and she's like, wait, hold on, no, we're not doing that, I don't want to do that. So she's completely over David, but I still think she has alternative motives aside from leaving. Well, she'd save her own skin probably if she left, that's for sure. So yeah, so then David comes over and he's like, oh, let me fix you. And she's like, no, I just want to feel something. Let me just feel something, and let me lay her. And she's broken now. Like, David did not remove that memory from her. So at this point, like, she's going to explode. She's going to explode at some point. And then, of course, so my theory originally was, as this episode was going, that the demons are the reason for the world ending. Well, not so much, but maybe still. So they could be recuperating and regrouping and then getting all of them together. And even though David threatened them and did play God and kill one of them, they could essentially make this giant monster shadow thing and, still destroy the world. But make it seem that David destroyed the world because he's trying to defend the world. He's also not paying too much attention to Switch, which is really sad because she's like, I can't, my mouth, my teeth, like, I can't. She didn't warn anyone. The audience knew that they were demons, and we didn't know how far they went, but clearly all this time jumping is, like, obviously a problem. With all of that kind of wrap up and thought process going, I do like that we're getting more of Girl Carrie, although she's not as obnoxious as Sid, and I did like her, but she, like, I don't know. It's weird seeing this side of Girl Carrie. She's like, I miss Carrie. I miss him. And then it's like, do you miss people? And Potatomy, robot Potatomy, mainframe Potatomy, whatever you want to call him, is like, I don't understand. Whatever. And then the mustache thing, like in the very beginning, like the Vermilion, is it the Vermilion? The little creepy mustache, whatever, mustache. That they trim it, and then then time kind of changes, and he's like, "What happened to my mustache?" It's like, what is with the mustaches? Like in the very, 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 very beginning episode, there was a sign or something that said "Beware the mustache," and like when Guy Carrie takes Switch and they essentially reboot and get to like present day, I guess, with Potatomy and the like crazy mustache people, that when one of them moves forward, Switch is like, wait, I don't trust you. But aside from the fact that she doesn't trust anyone, probably, if she remembers anything from the first episode, I really hope they go back to the fact that like the mustache is not a gimmick. Like, I really hope that they're like, there's a reason for that. So yeah, this is basically not a proper review, but me just commenting on all sorts of things that happened in this episode. So yeah, I don't know. I'm still hooked, as you can tell. A mustache and all. That's all I got, aside from pointing out the obvious, I guess.